Hey, hello there. Hello, everyone out there in social media land and the internet universe. My name is Terza Ekholm, in case we haven't met before. And I am an artist, and today we're in my studio. And as I promised from yesterday, I'm going to continue the project that I was working on. I already pulled the fibers off the board that I had set up yesterday. Yesterday, all I did was I took a piece of old board because I'm just trying to experiment, and I painted it black, and then I just piled on some fibers just to kind of get an idea of how this thing might lay out. So now I'm ready. I've done a little bit of preparation. So here's what I'm doing. I already know I love these yummy, delicious silk fibers. Okay, so these are really fun. However, for the first time ever, I'm experimenting with this glow-in-the-dark powder pigments from Technoglow, a company called in Texas, I believe, called Technoglow. Whoops. And I definitely ordered a whole bunch of different colors, but for today I'm just going to try two different colors. So this one is called Pink to Gold, and the other one is called really hard to guess, but it's called Blue. They're both fluorescent. No, actually, the blue one is fluorescent. The other one is glow in the dark plus UV pigment, and this is just going to be fun. So yes, of course, I read the directions and then promptly ignore them. So hey there, Machen, welcome, welcome. Glad to see you here. So thank you very much for that nice comment. So what I've done is I've taken something called Paverpol, which I used up the rest of it, so I tossed the container. It's really a textile hardener, but it seriously has the consistency of like white Elmer's glue. And yeah, I never heard of blue either. I mean, it was just really tough. So it has the consistency of white Elmer's glue. It's not that. It is a non-toxic substance, which will harden the textiles. And then I mixed it with a little bit of water. And then I took some of for this one, I mixed the Pink to Gold glow-in-the-dark pigment. And then for the other, this is just yarn. And I put in the blue mixed in with my watered down Paverpol. And then I'm going to attach it to the board here, and just kind of a random design. Yeah, it's Paverpol. It was originally invented for a doll maker in Holland. And because she was concerned, or maybe her friends were concerned for her, that the resin she was using, which was pretty standard, might not be so good, have long-term effects, bad effects on her health. So they created this substance called Paverpol, which is water-soluble, environmentally friendly, and non-toxic. And so I started using it a long time ago, and I don't use it in its normal prescribed way, as I do a lot of things. So because I like it to soak very much into the fibers, and then I'll just randomly arrange the fibers on here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little flashlight that they gave me with the Technicolors kit and kind of light them up. And then my plan is to shut off all the lights that are shining on me and see if this thing actually glows in the dark. And we'll see. I mean, it is kind of fun. Well, I don't know how much you'll be able to. You're not going to be able to see much yet. It's kind of fun you can almost see some kind of glowing. But let's just see what happens when I actually put it all together on the artboard. And that's where I'm going with things today. So let's just see what happens. It's a complete, total experiment. I would really love to use this stuff. So I'm going to learn my own way of just putting things together, and we're just going to see what's going to happen. So yesterday, of course, this was a lot easier to, let's not get this on the keyboard. This was a lot easier to use yesterday when the fibers were all dry, but now I've soaked them thoroughly, which will kind of mess up my design a little bit, but that's okay. We're just going to have fun with this. And so hope you guys have had a good day. I've had kind of a weird day. I didn't sleep all that great last night, and I have no idea why. There was no reason that I could discern. And then I had an early morning networking group. That group is based out of California. It's called Caffeinated Connections. What a great group. And it was a really good meeting. And then the day just went on from there. But it just seemed like I kept doing things, and yeah, I don't. No, let's not get any, especially this glue stuff. Let's not get that on the keyboard. Um, so, and the other thing that's interesting, by the way, I'm kind of interrupting my own stream, I know. The other thing that's interesting about these silk fibers is that the silk fibers do tend to run colors when they get wet. So we'll see if that happens here. And, this just may be one huge globby mess. But, I just can't resist. And then what's cool, if this works, and I think it worked in a fashion, I'll be able to create maybe a little bit more serious art projects with it. But, I don't want to spend a lot of energy creating something, working on something that may not work at all and just may turn out to be a mess. So again, if this works, this is going to be fun. This will be great. I did have in my mind in the middle of the night that I was going to actually use the fibers to create a word, and I was going to use the word joy or something like that. And then when I sat down here and started putting things together, I went, nah, let's just make a weird abstract mess. And the other reason for using the gloves is my intent is to kind of push it into this board that I painted yesterday so that it will kind of help glue them down and they'll stay down. So, yeah, thanks. This is kind of a weird, it's not meant to be an art class, maybe just a, discussion of how things are going on in my day. So I was able to create a fabulous gift for a friend. At least I hope she'll think it's fabulous when she gets it. She doesn't know it's coming. It's a surprise. And, well, we'll just see it. If she likes it, maybe she'll write me back and tell me that she liked it. But and then several people have been having birthdays, and I've been getting some lovely responses about birthdays, cards, and brownies. And I wrote to one person. I said, "Say, I hope you like brownies." And she said, "Who doesn't love brownies?" So I was like, "Yeah, I know. Me too. That's kind of how I feel too." So, all right. So I'm not going to do much more with this, except give me a second here, because apparently this stuff is making my nose run. So give me a moment. Let's not have the runny nose thing going on. All right. So, yeah. And then there's some more behind the scenes stuff. So I'm kind of testing out my funnel for having people sign up for my Wacky Watercolors newsletter, which, by the way, is at wackywatercolors.com. And it turns out I've got some holes, so they get a nice little thank you note, and I get a notification they signed up, so that's really great. And then nothing else happens. Like, okay, let's get the next step automated here because it's really ready to go. So there's always something interesting and new to learn and think about. So I'm going to leave this. I know it looks really weird, but I'm going to see if I can activate the colors, the paint, with this flashlight. At this point, I don't really need the gloves anymore. You might question whether I needed them at all. It wasn't because I don't mind getting my hands messy. I wanted the glue to stick to the board and not my hands, and so these gloves are great for that, because one of the things that's lovely about Paverpol, and I'll type that in later, it's Paverpol, it doesn't stick to plastic. It sticks to about everything else, but not plastic. And that makes it really useful for a lot of things. You can form your fabrics or whatever it is you're on around different plastic forms if you want. And then when it hardens, because it really does harden the fabric in about 24 hours to 7 days, and then you can peel it off the form and it'll hold its shape. And so that's the reason it was invented for the doll makers, because then she could continue creating her dolls and maybe escape some of the effects of the resin fumes. So nothing wrong with resin, it works great, but after years of prolonged exposure, maybe she was getting concerned, or maybe her friend was getting concerned. So next, I don't know that you really need to use this flashlight to activate it, but it came with the kit, so may as well just see what'll happen. And because I was really sloppy with it, it's going to be kind of like all over the board. I'm just going to see if this works, and then what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to shut off all the lights and see if you can actually see this kind of glow-in-the-dark stuff on camera. I mean, why not? So And plus I'm kind of getting a feel for how much powder I actually need to create what I want. And then once I've gotten used to this and I feel really comfortable with it, I probably will include it in a future class. But for now, I want to feel more comfortable with the results before inflicting this on my students. Plus, then I'll need to know how I want to package it and stuff. So let's give it a go and see what happens. So hold on here. I really did have to wire my studio up to make this work. Oh, one more light. Let's just see what goes here. And nope, I'm not seeing any glowing in the dark. However, I wouldn't give up altogether. See what you can see. So if I tilt this towards the camera a little bit, you might see it a little bit better. So yeah, we've definitely got some glow-in-the-dark effect going on. I probably need to use a lot more to pull this off. And I don't know if you can see some of the powder has clung to the fibers on the fibers, which is exactly what I wanted to happen. But I'm probably I either need to activate it a lot more or use a lot more powder to get the effects that I want. So anyway, thanks for bearing with me. Give me a moment and I'll turn some lights back on. Well, just so you can see, I mean, oh, you can't see. These things do light up really beautifully well. Here, check this out, the blue that I was talking about. And I'm suspecting that some colors need a lot more, let's go back over here in the camera here, a lot more activation than others. So blue is probably just, can you see how it's glowing a bit? So there's going to be some fun. And the reason this was fun, this is the pink to gold. It kind of glows this yellowish. And then when you take it out of the light, you can see it's still glowing. So, and this also gives me, so what I'm looking at, you're not seeing on the camera, it's actually quite a bit orangey and pink, so sort of a gold color. And I can see on the camera here, it looks rather yellow. So this is going to be fun for me to continue to learn about and go back through and read the directions. But I don't know. This is, thanks for bearing with me. We're going to see where this goes. Give me a second. All right, a little bit more light on the subject. So thanks everybody for being with me. I felt it was important for me to jump in the studio every day and have some fun and learn some new things, some new techniques that I'm going to be delighted to share with my students. So I hope you guys have had a wonderful day. I hope you have an even better evening, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks. This is Terza Ekholm, wackywatercolors.com. And oh, by the way, if you want to be learning how to create great networking in your business, check out my link at profitbynetworking.com, and I may see you again this weekend. Thanks again. Okay, you gotta love that.